Hey, how's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel with some more Arsenal transfer news, transfer updates, opinions, discussions, all that good stuff. No stream for me for today because I have some urgent stuff to take care of. So still, to keep the grind going, let's talk a bit about Arsenal, and more specifically today. And pretty much this whole video will be about injuries, because in the last 24 hours, quite massive stuff has happened in Arsenal in terms of injuries that basically doesn't spell good news for Arsenal. Let's be real. So let's dig straight in. If you're new around here, of course, don't forget to smash thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave down below your comments of what you think about the situation, how it could affect Arsenal long term, how it could affect short term. Could it be too serious? What could happen? But obviously, the first things first, it all got announced today. The fact that Martin Odegaard has suffered a setback in the rehabilitation process and means he will be out for more extended period of time. Obviously, for me, I kind of expected that, because for me, the way he fell down, the way he was in that injury, as bad as it sounds, I expected him to be back around December or something like that, before Christmas or after Christmas. Obviously, with the fact that Arteta was keeping things close, wasn't too much talking about it and everything, as well, it kind of there was some gray area, which was quite uneasy for me personally, because with injuries, usually managers or media in general tend to give you a proper time. He's either out for 6 months, 3 months, 2 to 4 weeks, stuff like that. But with Martin Odegaard, we never got that. So at the end of the day, it was a bit sketchy, let's be real. And now, obviously, we saw a video of post by Arsenal that he kind of stepping up his rehabilitation process and everything, doing some walking, some running on treadmills, and it was a specifically low gravity treadmills, which means basically that you kind of can run off them all the time, well, quite a bit, and you don't put too much weight or almost no weight at all to the injured leg. Obviously, quite a bit of clubs have those in their training centers and everything. Obviously, Arsenal is one of them. But the fact is that he was running and everything kind of felt like a move to get our hopes up. I know I'm sounding quite negative, but it is what it is, because injuries in this instance are a bad thing for Arsenal, and it kind of has caught up to us, because last year we suffered pretty much no injuries whatsoever to our main guys. Odegaard, Saka, Havertz, even to some extent, Rice, Saliba, Gabriel, none of them got injured. And this season, injuries for Arsenal specifically are coming thick and fast, because Timber, not sure what's going to happen with him, but he was injured. He didn't play last game, got Southampton. White has been out for a bit at the moment. Obviously, the usual suspects like Zinchenko and players like that. Tomiyasu just came back. Tierney, not sure what's going to happen with him, but it does look like he's going to be back. And obviously, Martin Odegaard was one of the latest ones. And the injury he got in the game, in the international duty last time, it was pretty bad. And now since then, it has been a big mystery when he's going to come back, and it looks like he's not going to be back too soon. He's going to be back in more than a month. And it also kind of feels like I don't want to say PR move, let's just in those terms, but it also feels in a way with the fact that we are overplaying players. They kind of get too exhausted. Maybe on some occasions, obviously, Odegaard could roll that ankle in any given game. And actually, it could happen also in the training. But it happened when it happened, and obviously overexhaustion, being overplayed, kind of puts certain muscles on work overtime, which means at certain instances they will be also very weak. They will have to overcompensate and will be a bit more weak. They won't have enough energy in them to keep maybe some things in check. And obviously with this injury, it might not be as serious. Maybe we will see what is what. But at the moment, Odegaard is out for extra month, according to at least how it's being reported in the media today, because as Arteta said, there are hopes that he could be back by Liverpool game, but now it's been set back by almost a month once again. So it also kind of feels that it was in a way PR move from Arsenal to not give the actual timeline, just to keep fans in a way hopeful and happy, because these news are quite devastating. Obviously, we have felt and dealt with it pretty good. To be honest, without any replacement for him, like a proper one, without transfer market not signing for him a backup and selling 2 of those potential backups, even though, for example, Vieira was nothing great, let's be real. Emil Smith-Rowe was the closest one, but at the moment we have Trossard, Havertz, who kind of rotate all the time in that spot. It felt like it could do quite a bit of damage, but at the moment we have kind of got through with it, and we have actually did pretty darn good. Obviously, there were some draws on the way, which I hope could be wins, but overall, at the end of the day, we have gotten the 3 points when most have expected us to do that. And in the midst of things, we have beat even PSG 2-0. Let's be real. So in that instance, it's not too darn bad, but it doesn't end there. Obviously, yesterday, England played against Greece. They lost 2-1, and that was the bad instance in the first place. And it got worse because Bukayo Saka got subbed off. It was reported he has an injury. There are rumors floating around. I don't want to get ahead of myself that it could be a hamstring injury, which could put him out from about 2 to 4 weeks, which obviously is never that good of a thing overall. So this is a bit of a worry now as well. Obviously today it's been talked about a bit more as well, and in more concerning light, but at the same time a bit brighter light. Because let's be real, Arsenal fans have no idea what is going on. But Arsenal at the same time, there are some indications that Bukayo Saka is okay. And however, he needs to have a scan to confirm no major damage. That could also cause a further damage, obviously. Hopefully he suffered a tweak and nothing more. But this now comes down a bit more to the fact that we don't have a backup for Bukayo Saka for years, you could say. And he has been carrying Arsenal for the longest time imaginable. He basically has put the club on his back in a way. The numbers he has been putting up for the last 2-3 years, he has been carrying us on his back pretty much. So this could get worse in a way that if there are some scans and he's, let's just say, out for a few games, there is that possibility, right? Because international break just began, so there is still some time to kind of recover and everything, but it could take maybe a bit more time than people would expect, even if everything is okay. But now, if in worst case scenario, potentially, right, we are losing 2 of our main creative sources in the team in a way, because Odegaard was our number 10 that basically makes more or less everything tick around. The other thing is Saka. He at the moment is the assist leader in Premier League, in Europe, by the way, in top 5 leagues, definitely. He has 7 assists overall. Those were our 2 best playmakers. Obviously, Odegaard in some time hasn't created that much, but Saka has been on fire despite the fact, at least GA-wise, despite the fact that Odegaard isn't there, because in games you could see that he was missing Odegaard. And now with Ben White and Timber not being there, you could see that, especially against Southampton, that also he was kind of handicapped. His hands were in handcuffs. He couldn't do anything almost. That's why also it felt like a bad game. But when it mattered the most, he got 2 assists and a goal and got us over the line. But if this injury is more serious than it at the moment has been indicated, we are losing 2 of our main guys. And the thing is now, who do you replace Bukayo Saka with? Because at the moment we have nobody. We haven't had anyone for the longest time. Reece Nelson? Nope. Nicolas Pepe? Arteta didn't like him. Who then can play there? Martinelli has played a bit on the right wing. Maybe Trossard, but Trossard is quite essential at the moment for Arsenal to play in that 10 role. So basically that means that more likely than not, either Jesus has to play at right wing or Sterling has to play there. Because we actually don't have any other options. And if we look at games coming up, it is also looking a bit worse than you can imagine as well. Because if you look at our upcoming games, we have Bournemouth away, we have Shakhtar at home, we have Liverpool at home, Preston away, Newcastle away, Inter away, and Chelsea away. And then we head into another international break. Now, obviously, even though we don't have Odegaard, and if we imagine that Saka is okay, we would expect to get wins against Bournemouth, Shakhtar, and Preston. Now, obviously, you could say that also against Newcastle we should be getting a win because they are not in the best of forms. And obviously against Chelsea. Liverpool and Inter are the big question marks at the moment, given the fact that how they are playing. Obviously, Inter also are not setting the world on fire at the moment with their performances, but they know how to get things done. They have the know-how, they have the pedigree, especially if we talk about Champions League. And to the fact that we are playing an away game, which Arsenal in Champions League have not bowled essentially well in the last years, in Europa League as well, it raises more questions than answers, obviously. And same goes for Liverpool. Obviously, people are expecting us to go win a game, so am I. Let's be real, as an Arsenal fan. But at the same time, what Arne Slot has done for Liverpool compared to Klopp was basically attacking. attack, rock and roll type of football, wingbacks push ahead and do crosses and everything. What Slot has done, he's playing pretty much the same style. The thing is though, he has made defense more solid, hence why at the moment they have the best defense in the league. Which at the end of the day means that we will struggle no matter what. It will be very interesting to see how that develops and how that goes. But at the moment, at home also, we tend to concede quite a bit of goals. We tend to concede against Southampton, we conceded once. Against Leicester, we conceded twice. So that is also a big question. Will our defense be ready per se to do those to play the games? And it could get a bit worse if we actually talk about the fact that there is a possibility that Bukayo Saka also could not be available. Obviously, at the moment, we don't know what's going on with Saka. Because if we have Saka for these games, all is great. Let's be real. In that instance, that it could have been worse. But if we are losing Odegaard and Bukayo Saka for these 7 games that we have before the next international break, this could be very detrimental to our season. Because even though they don't seem as hard games, if we had even if without Odegaard, if we have Bukayo Saka, I'm expecting 5 wins against, those wins are against Bournemouth, Shakhtar, against Newcastle, and Preston and Chelsea. Biggest question marks are Liverpool at home and Inter Milan away. Those 2 games. Now, the thing is, if we don't have Bukayo Saka, then this all is looking very questionable. Very questionable how we could get things done. Because at the moment, whether you want to admit it or not, even Havertz has a knock and he hasn't gone to international duty. If he's ready, all cool, but he has a very good partnership at the moment with Bukayo. So that means, again, if Saka is injured and he's even out for 2-3 games from all these 7, it again could also damage us quite roughly. For us, obviously, at the moment, if we look at these games, you think we would get past Bournemouth, Shakhtar. The main time starts when we play against Liverpool. And for that game, we have our best players, obviously, minus Martin Odegaard. That is obviously the hope Arsenal fans have. But at the moment, obviously, for me, Bukayo Saka's biggest reason why he has gotten injured is being overplayed. Every single season, 60 plus games without any questions asked. And I think that is kind of starting to leave some marks on his fitness and everything. And that the fact that we haven't bought a proper backup for him, and to that extent also to Odegaard in this transfer window that just pretty much closed a month ago, is a travesty, and that could cost us big time. Obviously, it all remains to see what's going to happen with Bukayo, whether that injury is going to be serious or not. But at the moment, yeah, it has kind of set up a bit of a I don't want to say panic, but worry per se in Arsenal's fan base, including myself. Let's be real, because losing Odegaard already was bad enough. But if we also lose Saka, which was one of my biggest worries in the summer transfer window, that we could lose Odegaard, for example, and Saka at the same time, could actually come to life. And then, not sure how we will cope with that, because we can arguably cope with one of them being out. If they both are going out and something else happens, then it could get hella peak for Arsenal. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Let me know down in comments below what you think. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell. Take care. See you all tomorrow for a proper stream. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow we have some update on Bukayo Saka, because at the moment everything is up in the air. And again, as I like to say, there are more questions than answers. So let's just wait and see. But it is a bit boring at the moment. Take care, stay safe, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and see you all tomorrow. Peace.